Hello, all. Let us have another wonderful session. As there is rain outside, so I will not have my walk today, and I will also try to respond your each comment and answer your question. So, without wasting any time, we should start and we should understand another amazing concept related with political science, which is parliamentary system. So, in parliamentary system, you should know that in parliamentary system, independence of judiciary is important. Before discussing parliamentary system, last time we discussed the judiciary, so and executive in these terms. So let me tell you that let me tell you something more about judiciary. For judiciary, independency or it should be independence is important. Now, how judiciary can achieve independency or how it can be independent? So, independence of judiciary. This can be done by mode of appointment. You know, when you are appointing staffs related with judiciary, then one person should not select these body which run the judiciary system or the judge and these people. So one human should not involve. If it is the case, then automatically the judiciary will be corrupted and if one body is or one person or one human is appointing the whole body or the whole members are judge in case of judiciary, then the system will be corrupted and independency will be not achieved. So the first step that how to achieve independence of judiciary, first mode of appointment, and and the second one is perks and privileges. They should be given enough money and enough facilities so that they don't go for corruption and for for nepotism and for such things. So the money and these things should be enough for them to fulfill his or her needs. So in this way, the judiciary will be independent. Now tenure. The tenure should be prolonged so that they don't think that what we will do after the retirement and these stuffs. And other important point that security of jobs should be provided. So what was the topic? The topic was that how independence of judiciary. Now how we will achieve independence of judiciary? So I have given you these points. This was all about the judiciary. So far we have discussed last time judiciary, executive and legislature. We have discussed these things. Now let us increase the sphere of our knowledge and wisdom, and we will discuss now the concept of parliamentary system. So in parliamentary system, you should know that the first point is that HOS, head of the state, and HOG, head of the government, should be there. This should be not the one body, and the head of the government should be given importance. And cabinet, cabinet will be under the head of the government. In this system, the head of the government will have more powers. So the first point, there will be head of the state and the head of the government. The second point is that there will be more power will be with head of the government. The third point is that cabinet will be under the h of the head of the government. And government head of the government should be responsible to legislature. And head of the government plus cabinet, these both will be responsible to legislature. And the fifth or seventh point or sixth point is that head of the government plus cabinet, these both will be responsible and should be in the boundary of legislature. So this system is actually bound to the legislature, and have the head of the government don't have, he or she will be responsible and should give answer to legislature. So these were some points that the parliamentary system will consist of head of the government and head of the state. The head of the government will be powerful, and the cabinet will be under the head of the government. And these things and things about the cabinet, legislature and head of the government. Now what will be the definition? A system in which legislature control executive. तो इसमें हमारे पास इस तरह का सिस्टम होता है, अ सिस्टम इन विच लेजिस्लेचर कंट्रोल एग्जीक्यूटिव, कि इसमें लेजिस्लेचर का पावर बहुत ज़्यादा होता है और वो गवर्नमेंट को कंट्रोल करता है. और इसमें यू शुड रिमेंबर दैट president in the case of presidential system, we will discuss it. The president have more power, while in the case of parliamentary system, head of the government, which is prime minister, will have more power. Now the important features of the parliamentary system of the fusion of power. There will be the fusion of power and supremacy of parliament. There will be supreme power with parliament and flexible by passing law. Law will be easily passed, when and it will require absolute majority or simple majority, and collective responsibility is also there. So let me repeat. I told you things about the parliament system. And the parliament, there will be head of the state, which is in Pakistan known as the prime minister, and head of the government known as the prime minister, and head of the state will be president. Now but you should use the terms head of the statement and head of the government. You should use these terms, that head of the statement and head of the government. Now let us increase the sphere of our knowledge, and let us discuss these things that I have told you things about head of the statement and head of the state and head of the government. Then I told you about things about legislature and judiciary, and these things that the system will be in control of. The legislature will be control a system in which legislature controls executive. I have told you this point, and then I told you about there will be fusion of power. Some power will be with executive and some power will be with judiciary. So important feature of this system are, and the second was there will be supremacy of parliament, and there will be the bill, or the law will be easily passed through simple or absolute majority, and collective responsibility. What is mean by collective responsibility? That if a specific minister can give you will be responsible and can give you the answer for For example, a Minister of Defense can give the answer of the Minister of Finance. So the collective responsibility will be there. And now presidential system. Let me repeat and go through it very quickly, and we will have this discussion in our second class. Or I will combine these two. And presidential system, we have head of the state and head of the government. Head of the state and head of the government will have the same, will be same. So president, and he will be called president, and he will the power, absolute power or sovereign power. And you should also remember that presidential system can run without constitution. Now another point can be that cabinet plus president. So the cabinet plus president will be considering one body, and president as well as cabinet will not be responsible to legislature. So this is another important that in the case of parliamentary system they were responsible, but in the case of presidential system they are not responsible. Now this is another point to be noted that president has power. इसमें प्रेसिडेंट के साथ बहुत ज़्यादा पावर होता है, वो पावर को एंजॉय करता है और उसके साथ बहुत पावर होता है. यू शुड रिमेंबर इट. और लेजिस्लेचर की बात फिर इस तरह है कि लेटर कंट्रोल देयर विल बी लेजिस्लेचर का जो कंट्रोल होता है, अदलिया का जो कंट्रोल होता है वो बहुत कम होता है, लेटर कंट्रोल होता है. सो यू शुड नो दीज पॉइंट.